and jump. I have a few things I want to say because as of late, the hate has been way louder than the respect. And a few things. If your favorite rapper cannot sell 250K first week, shut the up. If your favorite rapper has been dropping hits since 2015, shut the up. If every single time your favorite rapper doesn't make something that everybody jumps to, shut the up. If your favorite rapper can't sell out a stadium and have the whole place booming, shut the up. Jackboys 2 has gotten incredibly too much hate. Incredibly too much hate. Everybody online is pretty much treating it as a punching bag this week. And I have had more than enough of it because there is not only is there bangers on here, I think as a whole, I think this album is pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's Travis's best ever, but if you're looking at this as a solo Travis Scott album and not as a collective album of the Jackboys label, that is your problem. This is not a Travis Scott solo album where everything is going to be fully tuned in and perfect because as we all know, we watch every single time Travis drops a solo album. It's damn near perfect, and he probably does not have a miss right now in his catalog at all. So until your favorite rapper has all of that stuff going for him, shut the fuck up.
Woo!
That's all I got to say.
You did say that you had some things to get off your chest leading up to this. I didn't know it was going to be about that, but I think you're right. I think that this album has got a lot of hate. I don't think it can be looked at as a Travis Scott album or as a Travis Scott solo album, but all in all, I think it's a good project from head to toe. What I wanted to what I was going to say is I'm looking back at we did the episode when we talked about like kind of who we thought was going to be on this album and whatnot. And I'm just looking back through the list of features and it looks like I got 3 right. And there were 3 that were already like advertised that were going to be on the album.
Yeah. I mean, this was the complete opposite of everything that as a Travis Scott fan and people who consume Travis Scott music, I think I speak for everybody in saying this is the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Obviously, we have Future on there, super happy with that. But outside of everything else, I was expecting a lot more frequent collaborators of Travis, and we did not get that. We got a more diverse landscape and different artists that I might not listen to on a consistent basis. But I respected the collabs, and it was completely different than something that I was expecting. So yeah, I mean, the collabs, I loved them. I thought they were really great. Obviously, I'm a massive Future fan as well, and so probably the Future collabs are my favorite. But all of the other collabs that are on this tape, I definitely have a respect for.
So on this tape, the collabs we got were Don Toliver, Shaq West, SoFago, Playboy Cardi and Future, Sababy or Sabibi. I don't know how to say his name exactly.
Don't ask
Tyla, Vibes Cartel, Glorilla, NBA Youngboy, Wally the Sensei, and Kodak Black.
Wally the Sensei, I think he killed it. Kodak Black has probably my favorite appearance on the track list. I thought he snapped. I love when every single time Travis and Kodak collab together, it seems like Travis can get like the absolute best out of Kodak. It's either that or even you see Kodak when he like collaborates with like Kanye or something like that. He has a very strong performance. I think whenever he's in the graces of like somebody great as well and not making music on his own, I think Kodak has a different gear that he can tap into.
You know, like in sports, when you talk about play down to your competition, well, it feels like Kodak plays up to his competition, basically. Whenever he's in those rooms with the upper echelon of those types of guys, it always feels like he's putting together a pretty quality verse. And now maybe that's just being like around the best of the best, which I assume that's probably what it is. Or maybe it's just the fact of like, hey, probably in some of those other rooms, he's the best or like the biggest name in the room, and he can just do whatever the hell he wants. So he's kind of just experimenting, putting whatever he wants out there. And I think these guys that when he does these types of collabs on songs, are gonna kind of like wrangle him in a little bit more, as opposed to just kind of letting him go out there and just put something crazy out on a track.
For some backgrounds, because we did kind of get right into it on Sunday. Obviously, Travis Scott and the Jackboys collective dropped on Sunday morning, Saturday night, dropped Jackboys 2. So if you didn't know that's what we were talking about, that is the album that we are going to be discussing. We made a bunch of videos leading up to it about where the project was at, what we'd think about it, and how the rollouts were working leading up to this. And then we finally got the project, and sorry to be so fired up when we started, but this week has been nothing but like I said this, like there are some people, like a lot of the people that I interacted with have just been like, this album's great, really like it. People that don't like Travis Scott, that usually text me when Travis drops, were texting me saying that they actually thought that there was like a bunch of decent songs on here and it was good. But then like you go on Twitter or Instagram and it's just like the discourse of music on Twitter is just like everybody's like, it sucks or it's amazing. There's like no in between. It's either like the worst project of all time or it's the best project of all time. There's absolutely no in between. So seeing all of the Travis Scott hate and even more of that, like they just had that Astroworld documentary dropped on Netflix and all of this stuff and the Pusha T diss and people clowning Travis. It just feels like the cool thing to do right now is kind of try to kick Travis Scott when he's down. But as always, what does Travis Scott do in the face of adversity? He stands in the pocket and he delivers, and he goes and sells 255K records first week. So,
I
and
didn't
it's going to
even
be a
watch
number
that
one album.
documentary.
Me either. And it's going to be a number one out. It's going to be the number one album this week. So as always, Travis Scott, no matter what you say about him, no matter what you think about him, he is going to step up and deliver when it matters most. And if you can't accept that, that's on you. Because even Brady said this next album is just super important to him. Keep doubting him. I love that aspect of who Travis Scott is as an artist, where everybody just has constant doubt around him and what he's capable of, and he always steps up to the plate and delivers. And I really appreciate that about him as an artist.
I mean, I think when you're this big, I think every album is important.
Correct.
I don't think that people are looking around and are expecting him to put something out that's like not incredible. I mean, when him, Drake, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, like all those big names, they expect like an incredible album every single time. And I think not to say that it like isn't important, like it's just as important as any other one, I think maybe I don't know, maybe like the first, I guess Utopia might have been a little bit more been a little bit more important because of all the stuff that happened at the Astroworld concerts. But I don't know. I don't really look at it as like this next one's not important. I think they're all important when you're on the scale and popularity that these guys are at.
I completely agree. Let's get into the album a little bit. Do you want to continue to talk about some of the features, or do you have something else you want to talk about?
So I mean, I went through and wrote notes for every song, and then I gave as good of a score as I could, and then
Okay.
I can go through every single note that I have if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. You are frozen on my screen. Are
I
you
know
frozen on your
I'm
screen?
seeing that as well. I don't know
Okay.
why.
Well, let's try to fix that before you start.
Oh,
There
there
you
we
go.
go. That
Okay.
was weird. I don't know
So
why.
you have notes for every single. I would love that. You can. I have listened to the album 45 times, so I have a very fond like memory of every single thing that's on this album.
All right. Start us off. First track was the JB2 radio. I just left it as is because that's like the intro. Like
Can I say something though real quick before we dive into this?
Go ahead.
And I floated this to you I think looking at this album and when it was released, after the very first listen, I think that this album was made specifically for GTA 6. I think that, Travis is the king of collabs. He
Yeah.
has collabs with AP, Lambo, every big name brand in the world has a collab with Travis Scott McDonald's. I think that this was a very clear collab, and I could be wrong. This is just a theory, but this album was made for GTA 6, and it's going to be a GTA 6 radio station just because of, like you said, that intro where it's like it's clearly like a radio hit
Yeah.
where the intro is, and then even throughout the track list, which we'll get into with the ad libs and the 21 Savage stuff, where people liked it or didn't like it. I was a fan of it because it was different. It felt like I was listening to somebody curating a radio station, and that is something that I really liked about it. Literally immediately done the first listen, I texted you in a group chat and I said this was made for GTA 6, and I wrote that in my review on Echo as well. So, do you have a comment about that, and then we can continue with the rest of the track list?
I mean, I think that's a good theory. I think it helps that um isn't Drake rumored to be the one that's kind of like curating the whole thing for GTA 6 for the radio? Or wasn't there a rumor or something like that going around like a couple months ago?
Yes, Drake is rumored to be the one curating like the radio track list
Yeah.
for this. Sorry, there is a massive thunderstorm going on outside. So if I cut out, I'm sorry for me. But
It hasn't made its way here yet, but I think that plays well too, especially because they still like each other. So
yeah, yeah,
I don't think Drake's gonna add anybody to that radio station that he doesn't fuck with anymore. So all right, another name that we've got to mention was Waka Flocka, but it was basically just ad libs the entire time.
mhm.
So Champagne Vacay. So first time I heard this, I was like,
Back and I'm
my
closing the stirrup. How the
my
fuck I get the drink out in Europe?
my
Come on.
notes for this were good. Were this song would be somewhere in the mid eights if they left Waka Flocka off of it. I did not like his ad libs, and they felt very just like unnecessary. And because of that, I'm putting it in the 5 to 6 range. If they get his ad libs off of this, I would have had it easily as a somewhere in the mid eights. I think the rest of the song is great. I think him and Don Tolliver sound so good, but the Waka Flocka ad libs in this song are really throwing me off.
I respect that.
All right. Next, we have 2000 Excursion. This was obviously a song that came out that leaked early. Um, the beat on this was awesome. I didn't really notice Shaq West as I like started to listen to it more and more. Like he became less annoying to me in this
Yeah.
song as opposed to the very first time that I heard it. Um, I think the Don Tolliver vocals were on point, and like I said, this was better the second and third time that I listened to it. I have this somewhere in the sevens.
I legitimately famously said I hated this song when it first came out because I was
Yep.
like upset, and it is just on repeat for me. I think Shaq's verse plays on this like pretty well actually, and his ad libs. I think is the incorporation of his ad libs on this is strong, and the Travis auto crooning on like the back end of this, where it's just like you feel like you're floating. I posted something on Instagram of Winnie the Pooh floating, like when it's like the end of the song, and I think like when you like I think the song's good at the beginning. Then you hit that point where it's like Don Tolliver, like on like when it starts to get to the end, and then Travis on this outro, and it's literally just like okay, like this song just went from decent to like amazing in my opinion. And I like I said, this song is definitely in my rotation pretty heavy.
Yeah, I liked it a lot more the more I listened to it. Next we have Kick Out. This was my favorite like leak coming out of this entire
Of
thing.
course.
I wish 21 had more of a presence on it, but this song slaps. I have this as
Mhm.
a low 8. Dumbo music video came out this week. We were watching it right um, before this before we started recording. The second half of the song, um, I think, is the better part of it. It still hits. I have it somewhere in the high sevens.
I think this is the best. I think this is the best song. I think this is the best song that Travis has put out, like in a long since Astroworld. I think this is the best song he's put out. It hits the intro. As soon as the beat hits, it
Even more
sounds
than my
crazy.
eyes.
Yes, as soon as the beat hits, it just like that beat starts. You're like, this is a Travis Scott slapper, undoubtedly. This is going to absolutely blow the top off of an arena when he performs it. It's going to be fucking nuts. This
This could have been
song,
on Utopia, and it would
yes,
have fit
this
very well.
very well. This song is gonna hit. We've seen him perform it live at Coachella when he did the leak. This shit is gonna blow the roof off of buildings. It's that type of track. I think it'll age very well. I'm excited for, like I said, to watch this live. I think it's a fucking banger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to do really well in concerts, I think, as well. So next we got MM3. I've always liked Sofago just from like the limited amount of tracks of his that I've consumed. I think a Travis verse on this song would have just put this into orbit. I have it right now as a mid to high 6, somewhere in that range.
I would have to obviously like agree with that because I think the beat Travis would have done well on it.
Yeah.
I wrote I would like to read my album review that I did because I
Yeah.
think that it kind of like fits pretty well right now. So this isn't even updated. Let me go on my phone. I'm just gonna read the part about Sofago. I said Sofago surprised me on this project. I haven't really listened to much of his music on this, but his performance on here actually caught my attention and make me want to take him serious as an artist. I think a part of that as well, and an underrated thing that Travis did was I think everybody probably could have expected a Travis Scott feature on this or a feature in general, and Travis just let it rock. Was like, Sofago sounds good on this. Let's just let him have this track. And I appreciated the fact that they let him have a standalone track on this, and it really like that. Obviously, really caught my attention.
Well, they have a song together later in the album, and I wish that would have been the one that they let Sofago go on by himself, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
So,
for sure, I get that for sure.
all right, Velour, I have Shaq West can actually put together a coherent verse when he's not screaming like a dickhead. Um, and then at the very end, did I hear a sample of Wolves? I
Potentially,
I
not
think that's
sure.
what I heard. That's what I thought I heard.
Okay.
6.9 contest. This reminds me of when I first heard Drake on Back Outside Boys, as far as like a style of music that I wasn't necessarily expecting from Travis Scott.
Okay.
Um, I really liked the song. I have this as an 8.1 certified slapper.
Yeah. Something that I saw, I like this too. Something that I saw immediately was like everybody trying to be like, this is a weak rage track. This is a knockoff of Opium, like blah blah blah. I don't think that like I just don't get the vibe of that. I don't really think that this is a rage track, to be honest with you. And I just don't really get that vibe from it in any way, shape, or form. But that was like the overwhelming like comment or like discourse around this song that I had noticed at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good, and I thought it was different than what we typically get from Travis Scott. Um,
Yeah.
but not enough. But none of. I want to preface with this. Like I talked about it in the group chat. The songs that he put out that weren't the typical like Travis Scott, what I thought would be typical Travis Scott. I don't say that in a negative connotation,
Mhm.
because I like hearing when these guys can like do something different. Like we
It's
all know
so
that.
weird that everyone sits around and bitches and complains about like if Travis would have just done like the standard Travis Scott verse where you know it's gonna hit, like whatever, everybody would have been like, he can't do anything different. He only has one gear. Then it's like he has this other thing where he like actually is developing as an artist and still and being experimental in every sense of the word. And it, in my opinion, and it sounds like yours too, it hits and it's doing well. It's doing its job, and people then go, man, I just like I don't want this from Travis. Like he's gotten too far away from like his whatever you know him for or like him for, like a psychedelic rap sound or something like that. But like if he was only making psychedelic rap, you would be also just as critical of it if that's the only thing that he was doing. So I think that there is a little bit of both. I think he has some of that where he taps into those gears, but he is still showing that he is an experimental artist. And like I said, I think that he's nailing it as well.
Next, we have "I Love My Bitch." This was one of the leaks or one of the
Yeah.
singles, I guess. Um, I think Shaq West kind of grew on me on this song. Like I hated it at first when it first came out.
Yeah.
After I heard it on here, I was like, okay, it's really not like as bad as I initially thought, um, but still not enough for me to really enjoy the song. Obviously, Travis's verse, he saves the song. I have this as like a low to mid six.
It's so funny because Rose watched our first video and was like, unpopular opinion, I love Shaq West on I Love My Bitch. So
She was
it
on it first.
it grew on me like a little bit. Like when you listen to the album in its totality, I think Shaq West has a place on this album.
Yeah.
I do I is it my favorite personally? No. But I think he has a place on the album when you're listening to it in its totality.
Yes. All right. Where was you? This was one of my favorite beats on the album up to this point. I think that all three of these guys absolutely slid on this song, and it was one of my favorites. I've got it as a low 8.
Yeah, I
No
mean,
comments.
what's not to
I
like
had
about that song?
yeah. No
I know the
comments.
beat at first. I'm sorry, the beat at
You're
first
good.
like was like I was like thrown off a little bit. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting this. And then
Yeah.
like by the halfway point, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. Like first listen, and then obviously I've been listening to it since. So
That's right. All right. No comments. Um, I've been extremely impressed with everything that Don Tolliver has done on this album, and I didn't write that for every single song, but like at this point, as I was listening from head to toe, that's like the one thing that really stood out is like anytime Don Tolliver was on any of these songs, and it continues throughout the rest of this album, it just sounds like you know how like Ty Dolla Sign is more of like a feature artist. I
yeah,
think that I think Don Tolliver has more talent than to be just that. But like I think that Don Tolliver sounds so good on these features and has sounded so solid throughout this whole album. I had this one as a high 7.8.
I mean Don Tolliver. I got mocked when I brought up the possibility that he could be one of the biggest artists in the game. I know that he's like 30 years old, and but I don't think that that really matters. I think that the type of music that he makes is going to age really well. I mean, he has great vocals, and he just slides on everything that he puts out, it feels like. And obviously he's starting to really get that traction from his own fan base that's not just Travis Scott's fan base. Like I've sent video clips where he's like shut places down and like
Yeah.
live music and stuff like that. And I just think that Don Tolliver like is going to age very well. I mean, I obviously agree with you. He's one of my favorites in the game right now. I said it the one day. I said he rivals Travis Scott for me at this point. Like on when he releases something and I hear it, I am at times like Travis is always going to be my favorite. He's my goat, but at times like I'm like Don might be that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I at the end of this, I have that I think the star of the show, obviously this is a collab album, but like I think Don Tolliver might have been like the best put together, like the most quality on this album. So
I respect that.
high praise to him on this. Next we have Beep Beep. Um, The beat on this song almost sounds like it's off pace, kind of, but I think Travis like pulls it together really well. I wasn't expecting Saw Baby on this as a feature, but his verse is nasty. Um, I have this as an 8.3. I can't wait to learn the lyrics of this song.
Big
And
booty
this was
bitch, I need it.
and this was the first this was the only song so what I was trying to do is just listen to every song one time through. This was the only song that I ran back more than one time. And I think that just goes to show that's my favorite off this album, and I feel like I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Like when I brought it up to you guys, I mean, you said you listened to it again, but
I
like
like it.
it wasn't really talked about a ton. I think
No,
it's very underrated.
yeah, it's I mean, this whole we'll get into that afterwards, but yeah, I agree with you for sure.
All right, PBT. This is like a reggae dance type song from Travis that I wasn't
Yeah.
really expecting.
Yeah.
I like him and Tyler on it. It was a calm la vibe. Um,
Type shit.
it was kind of funny listening to Vibes Cartel come in extra hot at the very end of that.
Stupid hot.
But I thought I enjoyed it. I have it as a 7.7.
It's my least favorite on the album, but it's not made for me. Like
No,
I don't really want to hear Tyler. I want to crack my head
yeah,
off of the wall.
correct. So you
Sorry.
mentioned it was your least favorite song. My least favorite song is Shine. So the way that I wrote down here, the way Steve felt when he first heard Sexy Red on Rich Baby Daddy is how I feel about this song, except this is 100 times worse. And I'm sad that Travis signed off on this. No further comments.
I will say Rich Baby Daddy is one of the worst songs ever made, so I'm not gonna co-sign that. I think that Glorilla could have easily been kept off of this though. I agree with that statement.
Yes, but the feeling stays the same.
I just don't give a shit about her.
Fair,
So like
fair.
that's really what it comes. Like I never want to listen to Glorilla like ever.
Ever.
So it is what it is.
All right. Next we have Outside. I just
But
don't love
I have
it.
a question. I want to say something. The wobbly wiggly like
That's
people
that's
have
tough.
like really it really have like acted like that is like a real like Travis Scott lyric and verse that he laid down. That is a like not maybe not paying homage, but that is from something else. So that is from it says the intro of Here I Come by Barrington Levy off the hook. So that is not, it says Here I Come was sampled by his song's namesake Shine in 2000 by the Bad Boys. So that wasn't like people made it sound like Travis like laid that down like on a piece of paper and like read that off.
They
Like,
did. I agree.
so like
But
I'm not saying that I liked it. I'm just saying the reaction to it was ridiculous. But continue.
I will say we don't need to pay homage to everything.
I mean,
I think
that
that could have been left off.
for you personally, maybe not. For Travis, it felt like he needed to do it.
Fair enough. Outside, I just don't love the combination of Travis and NBA YoungBoy. Never really been an NBA YoungBoy fan, and this song didn't really do it for me. I had this as a 4 just because I had it didn't
I
I
won't come
didn't
back.
love.
I won't come back to it much now.
Can't Stop. I have another quality Don Tolliver song. Future's talking about sipping codeine. All is good. Wally's verse on this was perfect, and I think it was the perfect amount of time spent on this track. Your
This is
favorite?
this is probably like a as dumbo like from like a getting hype standpoint. It's probably like my favorite, but like song wise, like this is it for me. Like I think this was the best song on the entire album. Don Tolliver, I mean, sets the tone right away. I mean, this is a tune that you roll the windows down to and bump.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, when Wally popped in, I was like kind of refreshed, and it wasn't like I was waiting for him stop singing. So I think they did a perfect job with his verse. And then last, Florida Flow. This started off not looking promising in my eyes, but then the beat like actually gets going, and I think it's really good. Um, Travis sounds like he smoked 90 cigs straight before actually starting to rap. Um, I'm still worried about Kodak Black though, even though he put together a solid verse, solid song here. I had this as a 7.6. And then my star of the show was Don Tolliver with my favorite song is Beep Beep.
I mean, hot like everybody was like making it sound like that, like the beginning of Florida Flow and Travis is doing like that raspy voice thing, that was like the worst thing that they've ever heard in their entire life. I liked it. I thought it was incorporated well. I liked that he like did it and then had like a quick like line like after he like said
Yeah.
something in the raspy voice. Like I thought
Yeah.
it played. I thought it was dope. I think the beat on this is ridiculous. I think Kodak absolutely kills it. And then the ride out on the beat, like for the last like minute 30, is
Yeah.
like one of my favorite. Like I love listening to that beat ride out, and it sounds like super gas. So I mean, yeah, I think that's one of those songs that like, I mean, Travis spits a crazy line, like a crazy verse. Kodak spits a crazy verse. The beat's crazy. What's not to like about it? I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I think I tried my best to like not take into consideration what you and Brady were saying in the group chat over the weekend when you guys were talking about this, because I wanted to kind of just go into it as open-minded as possible. And I feel like I did a pretty good job of that, because I did end up like going back and looking through and seeing that. I mean, obviously Brady didn't love this,
I
and
mean,
but
Brady doesn't like it because I like it. I mean, that the he predetermined, like, let's just call it, like, we knew, like, when this dropped, we knew that Brady was going to come in the group chat and be like, this stinks. I mean, that's really all there is to it.
but
It could have been the best album of all time.
I will say that I'm definitely closer to your opinion on this than his. I don't think it's obviously his best, but I don't think this is like a 2 out of 10 by any means.
No. Can I read my full
Yeah,
review?
please.
My full review was, I said, there's a few things before diving into this album. And I mean this still. Sheck West can no longer be featured on songs with Travis and Don Tolliver. Those two are just way too strong of performers to keep letting Sheck hop on and drop some BS. Still mean that. So Fago surprised me on this project. I haven't really listened to much of his music before this, but his performance on here actually caught my attention and made me want to take him more seriously as an artist. And lastly, this album was made for GTA 6 radio station. Said all of this. As for the album itself, I think it's way stronger version of Jackboys 1. Not every track is for me, and I think there are a couple of moments where the energy dips, but overall it's a really good listen. The first half of the track list is basically no misses. The energy drops a little in the middle, then ends strong with the two last tracks being absolute standouts. This album is about vibes, energy, and replayability, and on that front it delivers. My favorite track is Can't Stop. What I mean by that too is, if we go Jackboys 2 Radio, the intro, Champagne Vacay, 2000 Excursion, Kick Out, Dumbo, MM3, Velour, Contest, and then it's like, I Love My Bitch, it kind of tails off a little bit. Where Were You? We're right back. No comments. We're right back. Beep, beep. Then for me, PBT, energy drops off. Shine, energy drops off. Outside, energy drops off. Then it's Can't Stop, Florida Flow to round it out. And I was completely happy with that. So like I said, I don't think that this is like the best Travis Scott album of all time, but it's not a Travis Scott album. Do I think it's better than Jackboys 1? I do. Because the biggest critique back in the day, and I know everybody forgets this now because this album's trash apparently, but there was not enough songs on Jackboys 1. There was not enough content on this album. There was what, like 6 songs maybe?
7.
7 songs. They went back, listened to that, and then had a full album, 17-song album with everybody that's on the roster. And I think they delivered. And the one clip that I saw that like was random was from the NFR podcast, where they were just like, they were so worried about like who was on like the Jackboys collective and like blah blah blah, like this, that, and the third. Like they were like, is Luxury Tax still on Jackboys? It's like, who gives a fuck? Like if Luxury Tax was in Jackboys, he'd be on the album. He's not on the album, so what is there to talk about? I think that like I said, I don't know what it was when people consume this album, but they nitpick the stupidest shit.
I don't think that if Luxury Tax was on it, it would have just been in like production.
I
But
have no idea.
yeah, I don't really think that that's like worth. If you're worried about Luxury Tax being on or off this album, I don't think that you're properly consuming music.
You're just worried about the wrong like I said, people like it
Like,
felt
why does
like
that matter? Why would that matter?
why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Bro,
Everybody,
you could ask so many people that follow music. I guarantee you they don't even know who Luxury Tax is.
or they just don't give a shit.
Exactly. So I don't think that that's even worth getting. I don't even think that's worth talking about. But what I will say is, it's tough for me to compare this to Jackboys 1 just because of how many more songs are on this album. Um, I think if you trimmed it down and had to pick like 7 songs, I think that they would probably be hand in hand, like pretty comparable.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see how we'll see like how these songs age and how they progress, because obviously like Pop Smoke dying, RIP.
R.I.P.
That song Gotti was good. I think like people started to spin that back even more once Pop Smoke was gone.
Love that
Um,
song.
so good. And then Out West, I don't know if there's a song necessarily that'll make it to Fortnite, but Out
Yeah, no.
West was
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. That song was huge for sure. I mean, it's just crazy because even, dude, honestly, a song that gets absolutely no love in any way, shape, or form is "What to Do" with Don Toliver and Travis Scott, which I think
I
is the
agree.
best song off the entire album. But I don't know, dude. I mean, they make really good fucking music. I mean, I don't know why everybody like. We just got really good fucking music. We got some slappers, and like I don't know, like I don't know what else you could possibly want from this. So I don't know.
I wish I could remember what people said about the first Jack Boys, like on Twitter and on social media when it came out, because I don't nearly remember it getting the amount of hate that this is getting.
Probably that Travis sucks and falls off. That's what everyone like. It is like the thing to do on social media. Travis has a massive global fan base. The cool thing to do on social media is be like, Travis Scott makes music for 13-year-olds old kids. Like stupid ass shit. It's like, okay, like literally, like if somebody's like, oh, you like Travis Scott, then you're fucking 15 years old. It's like Travis Scott was popping when I actually was like 16. So
Yeah.
like I'm a grown man now. Like I'm like damn near the same age as Travis. Like he's a little older than us, but like he's been popping this whole time. So
Yeah.
like
I mean, that comes from people that are 50, 40 to 50 years old that
no, it
still
just
listen to
comes
rap music.
like I said, I think the discourse around music right now is bad. Like I don't think people like to like things. That's really what it comes down. I
I
think
agree
a
with that.
lot of it
Everybody
is
does want to everybody wants to be that person that's like, nah, I don't like it.
even this last time I realized at the Drake album, the Sexy Songs for You, it was not for me. And I said that right away. I said, I don't really like this. But did I come into the group chat like every 15 seconds and be like, this Drake album sucks, like blah blah blah? Like
No.
I said every single time it was mentioned, I said, I'm actually happy that you guys are enjoying this album. I said that multiple times because it was not made for me, because I'm not trying to listen to like some slow jams Valentine's Day shit. Like I said, I'm trying to crack my fucking head off of the wall.
Yeah. And you're not going to do that listening to those songs off that Drake album. You're
Yes.
going to do
So
it on this album.
yeah, so that's where I have tried to walk back myself doing stuff like that because I just think it's pointless. And Yeah,
It doesn't do anybody any good either, because there is always going to be, no matter how positive you want to be about it, there's always going to be somebody that's like, no, this album sucks. But that's just like part of putting shit out there.
it doesn't suck like that. Nothing's gonna suck when it comes out. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
I know,
Like,
yeah,
I
but you
mean,
get what I'm saying. It's like there's
yeah.
always going to be people that are going to push back and say like, "Oh, this isn't good. Why are you listening to this?"
There is like there's just a tier. It's like, is it a classic? No, it's not a classic. Like it might be a little under that, and it might not be his best work. That's really what we're talking about at this point. These guys don't put out bad projects.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take vision.